G'day ladies, gentlemen, everything between, Ozsim here, and I'm standing in front of my flight sim / computer setup, which I'm going to run through today in this short video because it's something I get asked quite often. You know, what equipment do I use, what's in my PC, and stuff like that. So without keeping you waiting, let's get straight into it, shall we? Come on. Now, the first thing you're probably going to realize and ask yourself is, what the f is that desk? I rent with a housemate, and it's just the one that he had, so I'm just sort of making do with what we've got until I eventually move out and get my own place, where I plan to make a fucking massive studio room with all my shit. That's obviously everyone's dream. So this is the desk in question. It looks horrible, I know, but it does work, and I've made it work with a few little modifications, such as turning these drawers upside down so that I can use it as a bit of a ledge for my my sim gear. And that little ledge here, there was a drawer that sits in here. I obviously pulled that out, and the yoke actually sits quite nicely there. And on the left-hand side, we've got our joystick sitting on another inverted drawer. So yes, it is quite an ugly and small desk, but it does actually kind of work and serves its purpose. So anyway, let's get into more of the important stuff. These are my two curved screen Samsung monitors. Now, I don't even know what the details of these monitors are. I'm not gonna lie. I bought them off my mate a couple of years ago. This is kind of what they look like from the back, but yeah, I'm not sure what the real details are on these monitors, but all I know is they look pretty great, and they allow me to play games and make videos, so I'm happy. All right, moving down, my keyboard. Got this as my first ever build a few years ago when I built my first ever PC during COVID. Now, you can probably tell that by the state of the keyboard. I'm obviously losing a button here. I don't know where that's gone. It's all right. It's a good enough keyboard for me. I think it's just a Logitech. Not sure what one. It has RGB lights, which makes it nice and pretty on the eyes. And to pair with that, I've just got a pretty shitty Typhoon mouse. I have no idea where I got that from. Probably Big W, to be honest. And that's sitting on my big mouse pad here. I'm not sure the size of this. Wow, I don't really know much, do I? I got it for Christmas. It's awesome, man. It's cool. When the games are loading and stuff, I literally just gaze down here and have a look at the map and see where I can fly. And it's got some pretty cool information on the mouse pad as well. Over to the left. Now, this is my new Shure microphone. This microphone is probably one of the best things I've ever got. I got it for Christmas from my beautiful girlfriend. So this microphone, yeah, it's a game changer for me personally. And the reason I love it so much is because it's actually USB-C powered. So all you need to do is plug this bad boy in and she's ready to go. And for me, that allows so much versatility because, you know, I sit here making videos, my housemate's room is there. I don't want to be loud sometimes and annoy him. So sometimes I'll literally just take my microphone with a shorter cord, go downstairs, go into my car, and I'll sometimes just sit in my car and record voiceovers and stuff because it's quiet in there. The microphone allows me to do it, plug straight into my phone and use an app to record it, and it sounds incredible. So I have nothing bad to say about that Shure microphone just yet. Now, probably the equipment that you guys most want to know about is my flight sim equipment. All right, so starting with my joystick. Now, this is a Logitech Attack 3. Old school as. And it's so old because I actually borrowed this from my mate in year 12, which is some 10 years ago now, and I never gave it back. So thanks, Geordie, if you're watching. It's all right. I mean, it's not the most high-tech, obviously, joystick because it's a bit old now. You can get incredibly new ones now, but it does the job. So when I'm flying an Airbus, I'll use that. And when I'm flying a Boeing, I'll use this bad boy. Oh, have a look at that. This is obviously the Boeing Thrustmaster yoke. Got this from my beautiful girlfriend again. When I came back from Europe for a few weeks, she missed me a lot. And so she bought me this to say welcome back, and along with this bad boy as well. So this is the Thrustmaster throttle quadrant setup, sorry. So these things come together. I will have a link to these things in the description below. They are quite expensive. However, you buy them once and that's all you really need. to do. Easy for me to say, I guess, because I didn't have to buy it. But these are incredible, man. The realism on this, I believe, is very close. Obviously, I'm not a pilot, I don't know, but from what I've heard and what I've read online, the realism is definitely up there with some of the best. So you've got a lot of buttons here that you can actually bind to on Flight Sim to your liking. So for me, I use this actually as my flaps button, and this is my trim. So up and down and up and down. This button here is like a joystick, man. So that's actually a camera joystick for me when I play Flight Sim. And this button here will be my sort of autopilot connect and disconnect button as well. And then at the back here, we've got a cool feature, which is actually the landing gear stick. So that can go up and it can obviously go down as well. So these buttons here are what you'd have on your standard Xbox controller as well, I believe. So like your back button, your menu button, and like another menu button, I guess. This button here, I'm not sure what it does. Maybe it's something to do with actually connecting it to your Xbox, because this will obviously work on your PC and your Xbox. So you can probably tell straight away you've got all the Xbox buttons on here. A, B, X, Y. Incredible piece of equipment. And it just screws to the underside of your desk. And I believe it comes with some mounting equipment as well if you are having trouble. There's heaps of options to screw these on. So, and to pair that, you've obviously got to have some throttle inputs, and this is what I use, the Thrustmaster Quadrant. So this comes with a speed brake lever here, obviously your two throttle levers, reverses, pretty sick, and then you can actually bind these to your heading and track, bugs, altitude bugs, and speed bugs as well. So pretty cool. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie, it's not very well made. Like, it's well made in the sense that, you know, it's got everything and it's very functional, and all you need to do is literally plug it in. It plugs into USB-C again, and once it plugs in, it actually comes with all the bindings. So all you need to do is open up Flight Sim, and that's ready to go. And you can obviously customize all these buttons as well. But it's very plastic. It feels very gamey and very gimmicky almost. So unlike some Flight Sim gear that I know you can get out there, it's a bit more robust and metal and, you know, a bit more realistic to what I would imagine would be in a real aeroplane. But for what it's worth, this is very incredible. And I've obviously only got the one side, but a nice feature is you can actually get another one, sit it here, and you can have your flaps lever here, two more throttles, two more reverses, and stuff like that. So it's all pretty interchangeable. I believe this will just like kind of pop out if I want it to, like that. And you can actually change this to anything that you want. So pretty cool stuff, man. It does help. It makes it far more immersive. Alrighty, now who has a foot fetish? That's because I'm going to show you my rudders. I've got the Thrustmaster rudder set up as well. So you can see a theme here, yeah? You got the Thrustmaster Quadrant, Boeing Thrustmaster Yoke, and also the Thrustmaster rudder pedals. I have not flown in a real aircraft more than maybe twice, like a Cessna or something like that. So I don't really know the feeling of real rudder pedals and what they're actually meant to feel like and how they're actually meant to kind of respond to your feet input. But this, for me, works great. And you obviously go left and right on the pedals to match with what you want. So that's obviously full right, full left rudder. And then the neat part is you've actually got toe brakes. So when I'm, barreling down that runway, trying to land and slow down, you slam your feet forward like that, and the brakes will engage. Again, you plug it in via USB-C, and it's all pretty much ready to go when you open up Flight Sim. It'll all be bound, ready to go. All right, so I've got some pretty cool hardware around the desk, but what about inside the PC, the brains of it all? Let's take a look. Now, I hope no one yells at me in the comments for having my PC on the floor, but that's the way it has to be just because of the size of the case and the shitty desk that I use. So I'm sorry if that offends you. But this is my PC now. It's obviously got the glass case on here, so you can't really see what's going on inside. However, if I click some LED buttons here like so, that should help make it a bit more visible. So we've got two 16 gig sticks there, DDR5 I believe they are. So that makes up 32 gig of RAM. Maybe I might just buy another one stick of 8 or 16 gig. RAM's cheap, so if that's something I decide to do, I'll just go ahead and do it. The big difference though between this PC and the one I used to have is obviously the graphics card. It's a GeForce RTX 4070 Super, so I'm running that bad boy. It handles my games extremely well. There's no real issues right there with that. And for now, that graphics card is all I need. Obviously in a few years time, I'll probably be upgrading that to a Series 5 card if I ever get the money to do so. But in doing that, I'll also need to upgrade my CPU. Right now, I'm running an i9 12,000 something. I don't even know. It's an Intel i9. I don't even know what it is. It's going to be on the screen. So between the i9, the 4070, my RAM, and these little pipes that keep everything nice and cool with my LEDs or my RGB lights, it's quite a sexy little setup if you ask me. How cool is that? So, but again, everything that's inside this PC, I'm going to put in the description below, so you can have a look at that and buy it as well if you so please. And for the headphones that I use, these are the DT770 Pros. They are limited edition and they are closed back, so they do provide a fair bit of noise cancelling, which is what I always love. These are great. These were given to me for my birthday or Christmas a couple of years ago from my family, because I was actually DJing and producing music quite heavily. So these are awesome. They just plug into my laptop and they produce incredible sound. So that literally is plugged into the headphone jack there and it's ready to go. There's no sound card needed or anything like that. However, you can use a sound card if you want. But these are incredible, man. And now onto the webcam. This is my Logitech HD 1080p webcam, which I'm pretty sure I got from Officeworks many years ago. Now it does say 1080p, however, it never looks like 1080p on the internet. So I don't know who's lying to me, but that's what I'm running with at the moment. It just hooks onto the back of my screen like so. It seems to do a good enough job. And next to that is just a little shitty light that I had from Kmart. It just emits enough light for me to hopefully produce good enough looking videos for you guys to watch. I do want to invest in a better light, and maybe like one of those, you know, those big light systems that kind of sit over there and like have massive, like one of, you know, something like this. Yeah, like that. That is the humble setup. So, shitty desk, some pretty cool flight sim equipment that my missus pretty much bought for me. If you guys are interested in buying any of these things, like I said, hit up the description below. You'll see all the information. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you yourself have a gaming setup, let me know in the comments below what you're running. What I should maybe upgrade in the future. Give us some tips and tricks, as I definitely don't know everything about this stuff. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button, give us a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.